So man, uh, Loomis is like, you didn't even really want to trade me, and
Well, I mean, he wanted the guitar, but then at the same time he started thinking like, I'm kind of imposing my will, my friendship on Larry, and I said, no, dude, it's good. Let's just go one for one. Just send me the Charvel. And he said, well, I'm still thinking about sending you both of them. I said, no, don't send me both of them. I'm fine with just that one. So he goes, okay. So I pack up the guitar, I clean it up, and I send it to him. And then a couple of days later, I get FedEx shows up, and he's delivering 2 guitars. So I got the Charvel, and then I got this 7-string Jackson. It's a really
so
beautiful
cool,
one, man. And I was like, oh, Jeff, why did you send both of them? And he goes, man, you really didn't want to. I mean,
nice
I kind of
dude,
forced
man.
you. And I was like, no, dude, it was good, but okay, I'll keep. I mean, I'm not gonna send it back now, So yeah, it was it's cool, and I actually play that Charvel a lot.
Nice.
It's one of my favorite guitars to play too, but I probably won't. There's some guitars that they just won't kind of see the light of day. They're going to be in the studio.
Yeah.
I'm a baby those. And, obviously they belong to Jeff. And the funny thing is, like, I have many guitars. They're all up on the wall. You've seen them. And I have a guitar wheel. My daughter's
okay.
She's in charge of the guitar wheel. And there's another guitar in that studio that Jeff wants. So when that day comes, she already knows who to call. So it's
that's really cool and interesting.
Yeah.
I too have like a little little guitar wheel.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I have the pictures. She has the pictures and the serial numbers of all the guitars that are in the room. And so whenever I trade one out, then I have to I delete the picture and I tell her, hey, here's the one that took that place. This one is going to go to the same person or whatever,
Right.
So, there's I mean, because, my family's not going to know, what to do with those guitars,
Right. It's good, good thinking out for your future.
Yeah.
Instead of having
in a
people
morbid
fight
way,
over it.
man.
In a morbid way. No, it's part of life.
Yeah,
It's
for
good.
sure.
It's good to look after. Man, I've been to your house, and when I was invited to a Super Bowl party that you had, I have to tell you, it left such an impression on me that I still talk about it today to friends and stuff. It was like, hospitality was over the top, but the cuisine was just like out of this world. Anywhere you went, there was a TV. There was like from the kitchen, so you were not going to miss the game. But you kicked it up so much more, and you guys had like Super Bowl games I've never even heard of. My kids were playing it, and it was so interesting, like celebrity sightings or this and that. There was all this cool stuff, and you have this insanely killer man cave, man, and you ride and you do all these things. I want to ask you, man. I mean, obviously you're a complete. Man, you do so many different things, and your father and grandfather, and like looking down and like smiling, man. I mean, I'm your friend, and I'm proud of you for the duration of the time that I've known you and see what you've done, and like who you were prior to me even meeting you. And when I met you, man, you had zero ego. Like you were the dude from Hellstar, but you were the nicest guy. Like I remember you, just supremely long curly hair. And like just so much hair, man. And you were always so nice, and you were always really, really nice to me, man. And I'll never forget it, man. I appreciate that so much because it was just like, man, because back then, guitar players once you talk about at a period where people sharing, then the ego started coming out. So during the time where you were being nice to me, Daryl was being nice to you, and Rick Del Castillo. That's actually we're being dicks to each other. Those guys weren't. You weren't.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that and all that. So what brings me is that, like, what else? Obviously, I know you ride and you have a beautiful horse, man. What do you? And I said horse, horse.
It's a motorcycle.
Iron horse. What else? Like just some of what else besides guitar do you like to do?
I mean, I love doing the recording thing, man. I think I'm, when that next phase comes, I mean, everybody's going to walk away, and at some point, I'll walk away from Hellstar and Santa Oscuridad and won't do it anymore. But I still want to be able to maybe do some, recording and some producing still.
So you've been doing that as of like.
I've been doing it for a little bit now. Yeah.
But so all the recent stuff goes through your studio.
Yeah. I mean, it got to the point where we just said, well, it's just software, and that's what I do for, in the corporate world. And I said, I'll just learn it. And then you just keep doing it and learning it. And then it gets to the point where you're like, well, why do we have to pay someone to, do this? We can do it ourselves. And so you start really wanting to be self-maintained and not really depend on, somebody else's schedule. When we finish writing an album or whatever for Hellstar, then it's like, okay, James, come over and we'll record the vocals there, and we'll do the guitars and everything else. And
I honestly think both you and James on every effort somehow gotten better, man. And I mean to tell you, it was started off for me on top. So somehow though, you're playing, like again, like I said, like Dimebag, when you listening to him in the early days, like when you listen to power metal, and you listen to the last record, he was just like, you didn't get any better. He was always just like, he was like consistent. Yeah. You are too consistent, but the recording and the songs and you playing. And James, like, you just with the times, man. You guys like have literally evolved.
Yeah, there's definitely an evolution, and the one thing that I pride myself I'm proud of Hellstar is that every album sounds like itself. It's got its own soul. You can look at Burning Star, and then the second album, Realms of War, doesn't sound anything like Burning Star, and then. Distant Thunder doesn't sound like Realms of War. Nosferatu doesn't sound like Distant Thunder. King of Hell doesn't sound like Nosferatu.
Amazing,
so the key for me is that some people say, well, how do you top yourself? And that's not the key. That's not what you want to strive for. I don't try to top myself. I try to do something different than what I've done before, and that's hard. It's hard to do something different,
That's true evolution.
There's a lot of bands that, you'll hear the album and it's good, but that one part, I think I heard that on the album before, 2 albums before, and so it's like, they are still kind of repeating and not, going back. I mean, I'll play a part and then I'll listen and think, I think I've done that, and I'll listen and I'll go, I did it on this album. And so that idea's out,
That's incredible, because sometimes, people borrow from themselves.
Yeah.
Beethoven did it, and there's like a musical term for it.
Yeah.
But you really are trying to turn the
I don't want any of my songs to sound like something I've done before, and that's super hard to do. It really is. It's really, really hard to do something different, And I tell people, like, man, I'm not a shredder, but I've written some above average songs.
Yeah, and you're playing, and your songs are stellar. Your playing is one of the most consistent things I've ever seen. Your vibrato, just hearing you play here, just messing around. Prior to you saying I'm sloppy, and I'm sitting there actually watching and go, man, like he's got the vibrato, everything just like, and he just played, and you're like, man, that's sloppy, and I'm like, I didn't even hear it. This is a harbor of a lot.
It's just many years of doing this, but
it's love.
I will say that I am feeling, some. It is taking a toll on me physically, though. Like a lot of the picking is really starting to get to my elbow and stuff like that. So, I've been asked, like, hey, you've been doing this already 40 years. How much longer do you think you'll do it? And my answer is always, I don't even think about it anymore, man. I mean, that's like thinking about, well, when am I going to die? I don't want to think about that.
Something you do.
Yeah, we just want to you want to live in the moment and appreciate what you're doing at that time, and when that time does come, and it will come, I hope that I walk away fulfilled. You know, I hope that that I've made some people smile, and you know, we're one of those bands that where it's like, oh, that album, oh man, that was good, you know. So
it sits in the heart with a lot of people.
Yeah, man. And you know, there's been some instances where, you know, I've had fans come up and go like, yeah, you're the reason I play guitar, you know. And that's like, oh man, you know.
That's like, you know,
yeah,
this whole interview has been about, like, you know, who'd you like, who'd you grew up listening to, and this and that. Then he goes full circles to, like, now, you know, you're still harboring that love. And might I say, you got bands, both of them, that sound amazing live. So that means, you know, like, you know, your drummer's doing his homework, this bass player and the guitar. I mean, everybody you got, man. There's some good dudes, man.
Oh yeah,
and they can feel the love, but y'all are, you know, there's like zero, like anything other than just like, check this out, music, you know.
Yeah.
Pure music.
You know,
and now full circle, and kids are coming up to you and saying,
yeah,
I play guitar because of you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. But hey, buddy. But you know, one thing, you know, I gotta say that the longevity. Is she okay? The longevity of the band is because of the friendship, you know, of you know, everybody in the band, James, and you know, when we go to rehearsal, I don't care if we rehearsed. Let's say we rehearsed today. When James walks in the room, he comes and he hugs everybody. And hey, what's going on? If we rehearse the next day, when he shows up, he hugs everybody. And hey, man, you know, it's not some like, oh, you know, it's I just saw you yesterday or something like that. You know, it's not like that. You know, it's very, the love and the brotherhood of Hellstar is very genuine. You know.
Yeah, man.
And
it's so. I mean, as a fan. You understand, like, what it does for an outsider when you see that friendship is still intact, still moving. It's, you know what I mean? It reinforces so much, you know. It's like so much of other things because in a world that's falling apart.
Yeah, we've been out on the road with some guys that they didn't talk. I mean, we went out on the road with. It's been a couple of bands that we've had an experience like that where it was like it just wasn't. They just weren't friends.
It takes the joy away. But I've been around you guys. I've been around James. James is like the party leader.
Oh yeah.
And it's almost impossible not to have fun. You know what I mean? When you guys are all around, and it's just like, and it's the crazy thing is the years of consistency.
We had
like having fun, and you make people feel good.
We had a friend that this was when we were on the road in Europe, and she wanted to go to the Alcatraz Festival, and she wanted to catch a ride with us.
One of the best festivals ever.
Yeah, I love Alcatraz. And I said, yeah, bus calls at 5 o'clock in the morning. Just be there because we're going to be gone. So she said, sure. And then 5 o'clock came. We looked around. You know, she wasn't there. And so we left. Well, there was another band that was playing the festival, and their bus call was a little bit later. And so she shows up, and they were there, and they're like, oh, I was supposed to ride with Hellstar, but they're not. They're already gone. And she said, do you mind if I hitch a ride with you guys? And they're like, yeah, sure. And she said she got on the Sprinter, and there was like a lot of bickering, and then all of a sudden, you know, it was like, hey, knock it off. And then there was this silence for the next, you know, 2-3 hours of the ride. So we see her at hey, what happened to you? Like, oh, I was late, and I ended up riding with these guys. Like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. Or at least you got here. And then she said, well, she was also friends with the guys in Halloween. She's like, do you mind if I go to the hotel with you guys I'm gonna be hanging with my friend in Halloween. And I was like, yeah, sure, you know. And so she gets on a Sprinter with us, and you know, it's after the show, so we're like, yeah, psh, yeah, and laughing. Ah, ah, ah. James is cracking his crazy jokes, and she said it's night and day.
Yeah.
It's literally night and day from, you know, you guys are laughing and talking and everybody's, you know, getting along, and over there was, you know, I was reading a book, you know.
It probably feels
you know,
better to play it on stage too, man. Probably.
yeah, man. You know, you can always look at each other and stuff like, oh, sorry, I fucked up, you know. But
Still doing it.
yeah.
I'd like to ask you. I know we've been talking for quite a while. What are your future plans now? Well, like in the near future. I know this is the most cliche thing to say, but I know you got, you know, a couple of bands going, but I'm curious to know right now, like what's happening?
But we're going to be doing Europe in April. I'm doing like 3 weeks. And then, man, we got to...
That is incredible.
Hellstar's got to finish an album, man. I mean, we got a lot of songs kind of in the can, but like the music, but we don't have the lyrics yet and stuff. And so we got to finish that up.
Still got a new record
Yeah,
coming
we got
out.
another one coming out. And then...
3 weeks in Europe.
Yeah.
That's incredible, man.
Going to be doing some like Poland and Greece and Netherlands and Germany
That's
and
awesome,
stuff. You know,
man.
yeah, it's cool, man. I tell people... I said, man, I don't take it for granted. There's a lot of bands that would, you know, they would give their left nut to do a quarter of what we've done, you know, and we get to do this, you know. We get to go to, you know, to play festivals and, you know, play, you know, cool shows. And
even when you guys were
Greece and
kind of
stuff, you know.
dormant, you still were getting. I remember being at your kitchen, and then like you guys were talking about Italy. And this and that and that, and I was like, man, you weren't even really active, but you guys were still active.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, you weren't supporting the album or nothing, but you were still sought after, is what I mean.
Yeah.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I mean, like I said, I don't take it for granted, man. You know, at all. I appreciate everything that's happened, and you know, all the places I've seen, and you know, all the fans that I get to talk to, and you know, doing stuff like this. You know, not everybody gets to do this, you know, and you know, it's funny because you were saying like, oh, I'm a fan, you know, but I'm sitting here going like, man, I'm hanging out with Marcy, you know, we're friends,
Yeah, we're friends.
But at the same time, you know, it's almost like that Jeff Loomis thing, like we're friends, but it's like, man, it's Jeff Loomis.
Me and Daryl had it in
Yeah.
Rigged Out Castillo at the same time. I mean, it's I'm being honest, man.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I would be a fool to be like, I would have to be like completely blind and deaf not to notice your consistency. And again, I know you as a human being, and all the things that have happened to you and all the things that are happening, you say you don't take it for granted and stuff. I personally couldn't think of anybody else worthy of all this stuff happening. And I wish you more success, man. I want to click on and see, and it seems like it's 3 weeks in Europe. I mean, you know what I mean? That's a long time. I've been on the road, but man, 3 weeks in Europe is like awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be good, man.
And you know, and with your experiences and you guys having fun, you kind of take it in.
Yeah,
you take in the sightseeings and stuff like that. You don't just sit around.
But you know, the sightseeing we didn't actually do a lot of, because we always felt like if you're not making money, you're spending it, and so we always felt like, okay, do we take this little tour, or do we just like hang and save our money, and so we can make money when we come home, we have money, you know. So, but the last couple of tours, I've gone out. I've actually woke up early in the morning, like, oh man, I got to get up and go see some stuff, you know. So I'll go through and I'll start, you know, taking pictures and stuff. So
your fans live through you, you know. So when you take those pictures and you
post them and stuff,
they're vicariously living through you.
Yeah,
you know, you have Larry's here and stuff, and like myself, you know, anything Hellstar does, it's just like, man, this is so cool, man. This is so cool.
Right on.
And it's like, if I had a stream of consciousness, I'd be going. For me, going back to music news, sitting at my, you know, on Antoine in an apartment and going, man, this is so cool, man, because it's like, that's what I want to do.
Right.
I want to be mentioned. I want to play at the Coliseum, like we in high school and you doing this, you know, and then like putting out albums, you know, everything you did, I ended up doing way later. So and
you
again,
did it. But you did it, and that's what I'm saying is that, like, you know, you worked hard at it, and I know you don't take it for granted. Man,
none of it. But
yeah.
you have to see from me, which like we're not in a band together, but we talk and we're still tight as Bloss. He was my best friend. You know, we actually talk about doing like a project and stuff like that. But you know, and I'm older, and like, you know, so many ships have passed, but I'm still playing, and I got, you know, a whole bunch of songs, you know, and like I got a whole bunch of things going on. But I always wanted my Robert Plant, my David Lee Roth, my, you know, whoever, you know, and then I was fortunate enough, you know, to be with Ensemble and with like Kyle Thomas, and they're great singers, you know, like, you know, Ripper and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, I would have traded all of that for like one James, you know what I mean, and to do what you're doing, because that to me is like you know, you see that family, you know, when you're growing up, from all these people that are divorced and stuff like that, and then you see that one that rock that stays together, and in so many ways gives so many things around it, hope and aspiration to do, you know, you're like, yes, you know, they're doing it. And that's what I see from you, man.
Man, I mean, you know, we were the first metal band to get signed in Texas.
Oh yeah.
You know, and
not Houston, but in Texas.
In Texas,
yes.
You know, so
it was a big deal, man. I would go look at what is it, Hit Parade or Metal Edge? Which one was you guys really featured on? I've been going.
No, I think it was Metal Edge.
Metal Edge, yeah. I was going there with my Scott Mellick, who passed away just recently. God rest his soul. He had turned me on to. Thunder and Lightning by Thin Lizzy, and Metallica's Ride the Lightning, and then we would go and have like two hot dogs for $1 a day, and every time we were there, I'd be at Stop and Go in the magazine section. And to open up a magazine and see Hellstar, man, this is just so big back then. Even like right now, if you do something from your hometown, people are proud of you. It still has that impact. But that's, you know, with the internet and all that, back then it was like that article was bigger than all this, actually. You know what I mean? For the time period, for that, I was like, that's like striking gold. It's like not nobody does this. First band out of Texas.
Man. Yeah, and we're still here, man. That's the other crazy thing. We're still doing it, and you know, you're talking to me, and yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't take it for granted. I'm happy. I'm proud, man. You know, just like I said, not everybody gets to do it, and it's kind of funny that, you know, you look back at, you know, so many years passed, and I had Roger Zombach. Do you know Roger Zombach? He fantastic guitar player. He played in Watchtower and you know, Blotted Signs. Blotted Signs. I can't remember the name of his band, but he's phenomenal. And he was in San Antonio on New Year's Eve. He was at that show, and he came up to me. He goes, "Do you realize you have recorded like 13 albums?" And I said, "Yeah, I think it's around there." And he goes, "God, man,
that's a lot of work,
that's a lot of fucking albums, dude." I was like, "Oh yeah, you know." He's said, I haven't even done anything like that, you know. So yeah, there's definitely a legacy there. You know, I don't know how long it'll last after I'm gone, but
I know one thing, man: the consistency in that, in the work that you do put in at the 13. I know that none of them, like every single one of them, was you looked at it and went at it with everything that's you, because that is undenying.
Yeah.
But the body of work that you've left behind, or like I'm talking like you're dead or something. I'm
undead.
The body of work that you currently have and still working on towards it's exciting, man. I'm telling you, as not, you know, aside being from your friend, you know, I'm truly speaking like, man, it's so killer to see Larry, man, doing this, and then see live footage and like going, this dude is like up on technology, his guitar rig, like the whole thing, man. It's just like you did not miss a beat with anything, man. You know, you took a nice break and came back even like stronger than ever, man. It seems like.
Cool, man. I tried.
Well, 3 weeks in Europe ain't bad, brother. With a new album coming out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
That's
fun,
awesome.
man.
You
You know,
need a
it's
guitar
fun.
tech, holler at me.
Oh, right. Yeah.
We'll trade licks.
Yeah. If
So-
anything ever happens, man, you're in.
Man, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for taking your time, for taking me personally and the listeners and through this journey that's is absolutely fascinating. And I know you abbreviated.
Yeah.
I know you did a lot of abbreviation. But
It's been a long life, man.
Hey, God bless you for being
Yeah.
here. And again, like I was saying with that sword, you know, it has to go through so many fires. I mean, right initially from your, you know, just family alone, man,
Yeah.
you were thrown into the fire, and all the different fires, and then all the different. You got to get out and get beat. I would say, man, you're a shining sword, man.
Cool, thank you, man.
Ready for battle, and you have been for quite a while, man.
Yeah,
So,
right
man,
on.
all the best to you, and go slay them heads with that sword, my
Hell
friend.
yeah, brother.
I love you
I
very
love you,
much.
man. I love you so much.
Thank you, Larry.
Yeah.
I'm not saying much. Oh yeah, I gotta say this. I can edit it. Hey everybody, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button right there in the middle of my 11-inch beard.
Do it again. Do it again.
Hey everybody, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. You gotta do the sound, bro.
Oh, you already done? Oh, let's do it one more time. Do the.
Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, man, that was good.